The sulfur of the metals is an oiliness extracted from the metals themselves, endowed with very many virtues for the health of man. Note, the sulfur of metals, and indeed, that sulfur which can also be extracted from minerals, is said to be of special utility in dropsy, for it is of a drying nature and is, as it were, a sun or solar heat, which dispenses the rain of the body and causes it to pass off in vapor. Dihydropesy, end note. Another sulfur is drawn from metals before they have undergone the fire, as from the golden and silver marchesites and others, which take rank and excellence according to the nobility of the mineral. So also is it drawn from the mineral of marchesite and cobalt, according to the nature and property of each. The more common mode of extraction is to take acetum carefully distilled, which has stood for 24 hours on a caput mortuum made out of distilled vitriol, salt, nitre, and alum, which also has itself been distilled by means of an alembic. This, I say, you must pour on the pulverized metallic body in a glass vessel, so that it shall stand above it by the height of 7 fingers. Then place it to digest in horse dung for 9 days. The colored acetum distill in the ashes until it comes to a superfluous oil, which you will rectify in a bath or in the sun. You will then have the very truest sulfur of the metallic body, which you will rightly use at your discretion. The extraction can also be made by means of a sharp and thoroughly separated lixivium, but other sulfurs are less suitable for the internal bodily use on account of the alkali of the ashes, out of which we make a clavellated corrosive substance, and also on account of the lime of which such lixivia are composed. The sulfur thus extracted can be washed with sweet water and precipitated. The subsequent digestion requires a double space of time. The lixivium also ought to be rectified from all earthy deposit by means of sublimation, so that such sulfurs may not be incorporated with it and become corrosive so as to cause injury to sick persons. It is to prevent this that the separation spoken of should be made, so far concerning the crude materials. But now, these having been fused and depurated, you may draw forth their sulfur. There is no more certain, noble, or better way than by the water of salt or by its oil, prepared in the way I have clearly described in my treatise on alchemy. Such a water extracts from the very foundations and roots their natural liquid out of all metallic bodies, or a sulfur and a crocus most excellent for all medicinal as well as alchemical purposes. It resolves and breaks every metal, changing it from its metallic nature into some other, according to the different intention and industry of the operator.